your reserves today? What did you see that you liked and what did you see need improvement?
In the first half, I did not like our defensive energy. I thought, we jumped out to 18-2 run, and then we kind of went to the bench, and then became 18-11. And they missed some free throws, or else it would have been probably a three-point game. So just stressing to, reserves. One of the hardest things is coming in from the bench. I get that when you're cold, but one of the advantages is you can watch and see who you're probably going to guard, what their tendencies are. So that's an advantage. And we're just not really good at that yet. But as as a staff, we're trying to find a consistent rotation. So I think it can be better for sure.
Were you concerned about Dominique's foul trouble early?
No, I just thought that she was a little bit handsy in the post. She's been doing a really good job of being smart, but I think tonight I think some of that's personnel. When you're playing a smaller post, you tend to be more handsy because you try to block shots. I thought some of those discipline things were there, but as a team, we were fouling entirely too much, like way too much. When you know who your opponent is and we're prepared and we know the scout because we work on it, you need to give space. If you know a team is always a drive-oriented team, you can't be up so tight where we're driving and giving rotations. So I think understanding to pop back and contain the ball is we just didn't play smart. We have to play a lot smarter.
What was going through your head watching Ari go for the triple-double in those last couple minutes?
Well, she was so close. So, I thought that'd be a great thing for her to get. Not a lot of people in their lives will ever get triple-doubles. I've never been good enough to get a triple-double, so was hoping she did it. But the main thing is, her stats were incredible. When you have 15 points, 14 assists, 9 rebounds, and only, 3 turnovers, and 2 were turnovers she shouldn't have had. She played a good game. That's why I always say she affects both ends of the floor.
It was more about getting her teammates involved today. Is that something she wanted to do after scoring 44 points?
Yeah, I think that because she's not a kid that just loves the limelight. She's not someone who's like, oh, it's me, me, me. She's not like that. And if you watch her, she does look to score, but she is really a pass-first point guard. And that's hard to say because you're like, oh, she scores so many points. But it's not really in her nature. It wasn't her role years ago. She can do it, and she gets hot, then she gets in the zone. But she wants to pass to her teammates. And I'm going to tell you someone who, if I'm her, I'm looking to pass to a lot is Sam. Sam's been, she was 100% tonight, 4 for 4 from the field, 2 for 2 from the three-point line. And, she's just sitting there getting great shots on the perimeter. And Ari's doing a great job of finding her. And I think the area that's really improved in Ari's game is knowing when someone's hot. So let's say Sam just hit 2. She's going to drive and look for her. Helena came in hot, ice cold, then came in hot. So Ari does a good job of driving her way and then finding her open. I think that's what good point guards do, and I think she's really grown in that area.
Can you talk about the atmosphere today with the
Yeah, awesome. One of the best kids' days in the country. I think it's just fun. What I think is really funny is, some kind of songs on there all singing it, or it's never usually that loud during the national anthem, except for on Kids Day. But I think it was great. It was a great atmosphere. A lot of schools come here to support us. So for us, it's a really big day. We want our Kids Day to be the best in the country, and I think it is one of the best.
Can you give us a clue on what your message was on all the turnovers?
Well, just that we don't need to force the ball. If we don't have a good transition basket, and I think you have to know as a guard who you're passing to. Now, putting Samaj in a situation when 2 defenders are coming at it, it's not a good situation. So knowing that, give her a second to get position, then give her the ball. And I think passing the ball straight ahead behind someone, it's a turnover. So just talk about we don't need those. That's why I said we didn't play smart. So I don't think we valued every possession. We tried to make these $1 million passes that were turnovers every time. And then we didn't play smart when they're in the bonus, you got to stop fouling. So we have to be able to go into our bench and play position defense without fouling. But it is hard. They're really athletic. They play 4 guards or guard-like players. So that's a challenge for our big girls. It's a challenge. Samaja's got to contain on the perimeter. Dominique and Kate have to. So it's just a little different. It's harder to play this style. And they're all fast and athletic. So it's not easy.
Were you concerned about maybe a possible letdown after the big win in Texas?
I was, and that's what I talked to the team about. I wanted to see how we'd respond. I wanted to see after a big win and when we played really well, I wanted to see how our team was going to respond because that tells me a lot about what our mentality is. I thought we came out really strong, but I think we let up and kind of relaxed. And that's what I don't like. But we're getting better. And we came out and we just at least jumped on them early. But, there's still areas we have to improve, obviously, but.
You afford to have both Harry and Kate on the bench at the same time.
Yeah, I couldn't do that a year ago. It was really hard, and now we can do that. But you do see a difference. So when I take Ari off the floor, you see a difference. When I take Dominique off the floor, you see a difference, and when I take Sam off the floor. And when I take all three of them off the floor, it's usually, we're not as solid. So that's why I talk about. If you look at the stats, sometimes you look at Sam and you're like, oh, well, Sam had, let's say one day she had 5 points, 2 rebounds. But there's consistency. So she's always in the right place at the right time. She's always rotating the help. So it's not all about the points. She does her job, and I know what to expect every day from her. She's never going to miss rotation. If we're in a certain way, playing a pick and roll a certain way, she's always going to do it. She doesn't make those mistakes. She's never going to mess up the offense. She's going to help direct people. So her value on the court is so much more than scoring and rebounding and steals and assists. It is so many things that don't show up on the stat sheet, and she is very hard to have off the floor. And Dominique also, tonight wasn't her night, but she's very hard to have off the floor. She makes our offense flow. She's so unselfish. She will have a good shot, but her teammate will have a great shot. She's always passing it. She never forces a shot. She's always telling people where to go. So those things are extremely valuable, extremely. And I'm always thinking like, oh gosh, next year without Dominique, so we're going to be a lot different. So she's very, very valuable.
How would you assess your team's growth from late last year to early this year?
We've grown a lot. We're just so different because there's 7 new players or 6 that can play. So I feel like a lot of areas where we'd probably be a little bit more ahead, despite having all the starters back, we're not because we're trying to move so many people. So I think where it's evident, where we've gotten better, is like our starters, for sure, because I think Amari gives us something different, gives us experience. But the areas I've seen us like kind of take a step back is adding the new people and figuring out where they fit in the mix, because there is a lot of them. Like Cheval's learning everything for the first time. Mara, Tara, they're really young, so they make a lot of mistakes. So it's like we're trying to mix them in. We can't put them all on the floor at the same time. So mixing them in with the starters, I think that we're going to be better later, just getting them more game experience. And, they experienced Texas, now they experience a different team. So getting them used to our style and teaching them our principles is just a big thing, because we're very detail-oriented. So there's a lot of things that I want specific on the way people play us specifically. We don't just wing it. So you got to be able to think about the game and pass it to certain spots, and we work on it. So I think with the younger players, they're just not there yet, because there's a lot of things they do, and I'm like, that's not what we work on doing. But all the returners now, you see us reverse the ball, and you see the extra passes.
Speaking of newcomers, you want to talk about Lauren and Darren? And asked about them.
Yeah, so Lauren is just a 6'5", a versatile post player, tremendous footwork, a great touch around the basket going right or left, a good 17-foot shot. She's going to be a star in the Pac-12. So we're really excited to get her. And she's a 2-sport athlete, so I think she's going to – the funny thing is she'll be impactful for volleyball, and she'll be impactful for us. So it's not a lot of players that can do that are good enough to be elite on both teams, but she has the potential to do that. But for basketball, she's got good timing. At volleyball, because she's a great volleyball player, it gives her really good hands and good timing. So she's going to help us a lot. The unfortunate part is we won't have her for most of the non-conference. But we'll have her when we really, really need her in the Pac-12 before it all starts.
Today you guys out rebounded them.
Yeah, sorry. So Darren's a strong, powerful guard. She can play the 1, she can play the 2. She's really fearless. She looks to score. She's very smart, but she's like a gamer. She's not the typical body type of a European guard. She's strong and finishes well, and great mentality. Comes from a very good club overseas. Mom used to play. Is very involved in the federation in Turkey. So she's going to be a really good player for us. But just like freshmen, she's going to have to learn, just kind of like the transition with Cheval. But I think another area that's going to really help Darren is the fact that Cheval's here, just like Lucia has helped Helena. So I think those things are really, really valuable. But they're both, we don't need a whole lot, and then people forget we have Shayna sitting out. So next year already, we're gonna be able to play Shayna, and then Lauren and Darren, so 3 players again. But That's ideally in the big picture what you want. You don't want years where you're introducing 7 new players. It's just a lot. So we want to even out the classes where we have 3, then we have probably 3 the next year, and then 2 the next year. So we'll slowly have smaller classes.
So today you guys out-rebounded Prairie View 47-28. Last year was kind of a struggle at rebounding. How much has your team improved at rebounding the basketball?
We've improved, but we have a long ways to go. We just have a long way to go because I just don't feel like we're disciplined to box out every time. So I think we do it sometimes and we don't do it. So we're not consistent on that, so we work on it a lot. But that's an area that concerns me a little bit. And today it was evident and exposed because in the final results of rebounding wasn't an indication how the game was, because in the first quarter we were up by like 3 or 4. We were up by 1 actually, first media. So this isn't how the game was. What happens is at some points in the game we were so much in rotation. So when you don't contain the ball, you're in rotation, so you're gonna miss rebounds because like you're rotating over to help on the drivers. So that's an area that we addressed. I thought we did better in the second half. But the rebounding is still an area we have to get better in. We don't have Aries a guard, and she's one of our best rebounders. We don't have like a rebounding machine. You know, most teams have, like, if you think of UCLA, you think of Monique Billings a couple of years ago, and Ornware, you think of different players, they're like rebounders. They crash the boards. We don't really have a extremely athletic post player that goes for that. So we're getting better. I think Kate's getting better. I think Dominique, but we don't have someone who that's their natural ability. You know, I think you have to have a nose for it, and it's an effort thing. And we don't really have one with that rebounding mentality. So I think that it's something we have to work at, and so we have to box out. We don't want to give up offensive boards, and I don't care about us rebounding offensively because we don't crash a lot of people. I'd rather take care of transition defense. So we only send a couple people to the boards.
Coach, even though you're still playing a lot of players, you've cut down on the number of combinations that you were using by
Yeah, you
a lot.
saw after the first media. That's why I did. I cut down some of those combinations. Yeah.
Who of the reserves has really stepped up to the forefront?
The first person that stepped up is Helena, because she's such a phenomenal shooter and she has really good size. I think some of it depends on who we play, because if we're playing a lot of athleticism, we need more quickness. But I think Helena consistently has came in and hit shots. And she's been better than I anticipated defensively because she's long, so she gets a lot of deflections on balls. So I think Helena for sure. I think Samaje's been really good. Tonight was not Samaje's night. I thought it's just hard. I think it's harder when you're a 6'6" post player. You're playing against 5'9" post players. You know, you're getting bodied a lot. So I think tonight wasn't her night, but she's been giving us really good minutes. Cheval I thought was really solid tonight. She played better. She's not fouling. I mean, if you look a couple weeks ago, she would have had 4 fouls in 4 minutes. Now she's getting more disciplined, but it's just it's a learning curve, just like Kate last year. I thought Mara, it wasn't a great night for Mara, but Mara's been pretty good. But you know, we're just working through. I thought Tara gave us good minutes off the bench. She came in and hit shots. Tara's been really good. She did the same thing against Chicago State. It's just certain games, it's hard to not play experience. Like Texas, it was hard. I wanted to go deeper into our bench, but it was, you know, a tight game at sometimes and against a really good team, so it wasn't the time to work on combinations. So I think the liberty we have the next 5 games is to be able to work on combinations, you know, still give our starters some rest, and then just continue to get better because we need that consistent rotation.
Kate had her first double-double of the season tonight. She had a really good game. What did you see from her tonight?
I thought she finished really well. I thought she ran the floor well. I thought she posted up hard. I mean, to be 8 for 10 from the floor, this is 2 games that are really good. 17 at Texas and 20 and 10 here. She's playing well, and she's playing very efficient. I mean, 8 for 10 is a really good. It's really good with like undersized players, and she's driving, not making silly fouls. I thought she maybe only had 1 rush shot, and that was one. I thought 9 of her shots were great shots. She's a lot smarter than she was last year. I think she finishes better. You know, last year she fell on the floor every time she finished. This year she's stronger. She's just getting better, and I think you see the big improvement from her last year. And in the place that you see the most improvement is defensively. She's a lot better defensively this year than last year, a lot more disciplined. That's the thing. 1 year makes a difference.
Anything else for Coach? All right.
Okay, thanks, guys.
So Ari, did you have any idea that you needed one more rebound for that triple-double?
I did. They told me, I think, sometime in the fourth, and it just didn't go my way. I wanted it so bad, so I was like, whatever.
That one last one that you.
I
you-
tried.
you really-
We tied it up, and it didn't go.
Kate, you get your first double-double of the season.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully many more to come. Help my teammates out. So,
What was your motivation today?
I mean, just getting the win with my team. I mean, it's always a motivation after Texas game. I mean, you know, just working on ourselves and getting better every day. So,
What's the most you've ever had? Are you ever had 14 before in college?
Not in college, no. I have not had 14.
For both of you, just start with Ari, I guess. Can you comment on the atmosphere here today? All the young kids that yelling and screaming for you?
It was so loud, but I'm glad that we put on a show for them. They have fun, and they was just cheering for us. But at times, I could not hear anything. I couldn't hear my teammates talking to me. But I'm just glad they have fun, and I'm glad they really came out and supported us today.
I caught you smiling after they cheered for a basket, which was way after the
Yeah.
Kate, same question for you.
yeah, it's just nice, you know, see all the kids out here supporting us and having fans. And just like what Ari said, you know, make sure they had fun. So,
How would you say your defense was against, obviously you're the taller team today, and you held all their scores under double figures with the exception of one player?
I mean, I think it's nice, just you know, coming back after Texas not having to guard big players. So, I mean, it was nice, but just like I said earlier, you know, working on us, working on, you know, what we have to do being in help side because, I mean, it's not as important for this game, but for the games we're coming, especially in Pac-12, we're definitely going to have to be there and know what we're doing. So it's just working on ourselves, working on our defense.
Yeah. Although we held some people under their averages, I think that at times we had some slip-ups, and it wasn't – well, it's acceptable for this game because they're not as talented as people in our conference, but we definitely have to work on our defense more.
Are you seeing the floor better than maybe you were earlier in your career? 14 assists, you definitely had some fantastic passes. Is that been a point of emphasis, or you just have it going today?
Oh, I thought I always see the floor well. Just today, it wasn't about me. Like, the Texas game is behind me, behind my teammates, and it was just about just getting everyone involved. We knew we were going to come out victorious, but it was just about getting my teammates involved and make sure they're in successful positions.
You guys had, what was the total, 27 bench points today. What did you guys learn about your guys' bench?
We can score. Everyone, when they come off the bench, is ready. So if everyone can stay ready, be ready to shoot, and come in and make an impact, then we're going to be solid this whole season.
A lot of returners for this team this year. How would you guys assess your chemistry this year?
It's definitely better. Everyone know where each other's going to be on the court, and so that definitely helps us in running plays. And
I mean, I would just say, yeah, like everyone can score. So, I mean, it's like you have confidence passing the ball to players and like knowing that they're going to finish. So, I mean, I think it's just like emphasizing that, just making our chemistry better. Transition needs to be a little bit better. We were a little better last year at transition offense, but we're getting better today. We did a little better than I think we've normally done. So, I mean, just working on the things we need to work on.
Did Coach ever mention during halftime about the number of turnovers you had in the first
Oh, yeah.
half?
She was-
That wasn't even the first time.
she was livid, and I think the first two quarters, she was like, no more turnovers, this is ridiculous. Like, but
Yeah, I think we were a little sloppy today, but I mean, we
yeah, just senseless turnovers. Like,
yeah,
just
it
be
was,
more
like,
patient.
Dumb things.
In that second quarter, you hit 5 of your 11 three-pointers. Tara came out and hit 2, and then when they inserted you guys back, well, you were already on the floor, but when they brought Sam and Dominique back, you ran back-to-back plays, so you, in the same spot, you got those three-pointers, and then Sam knocked one down. Was that, I know that you guys can hit from the three. Were you focused a little bit on that at that point? What was the...
We just wanted to be more patient, and that at that moment in the game, be more patient, move the ball, and we did the exact same thing in the exact same area, 2 plays in a row. So we just wanted to move the ball more and limit the turnovers and just be patient. And we could have had any shot we wanted to, which we did. So we were just more patient in those 2 possessions.
Yeah, and I don't think we were like looking for that, but those happened to be the shots that were open, so it's like why not shoot them, so.
today, Sam was perfect from the field, yet she's so unselfish. Just talk about her effort today.
Sam is like the silent assassin. Like
Yeah, that's just how Sam is. Sam
she's
is-
very efficient, very unselfish player, and so if Sam keeps it up, I mean, she already makes an impact, but it'd be a bigger impact in like bigger games.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Anything else? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
you.